Hey everybody, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train. It is a hot summer morning. How about we do a meal prep session together? Okay, I'll be honest. A lot of the reason why I'm doing this video is for accountability. I really don't want to do any cooking or prepping right now. However, if I do it on video with you guys, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. I'm actually going to do it. It's about 8:30 on a Tuesday morning, and it is already almost 80 degrees outside. I just went out to put something in the mailbox, and it is so humid. I think I'm going to spend the entire day inside. But first, I got to get all this meal prep done. Now, I do my meal prep in a very specific order if I am doing multiple things at once, and I'll be talking about that here in a little bit. I expect this to take about an hour or so, and there are 3 different things I'm going to do. First, I'm going to make a peach baked oatmeal. Then I'm going to make some peanut butter energy bites. And lastly, I'm going to wash a whole bunch of fruit that I bought. Let me show you what I have and let's get started. I have all the ingredients lined up right here, which really helps me to get the ball rolling because I work a whole lot better when everything is already out. So I've got most of the ingredients right here for the peach baked oatmeal. And then over here is all of the energy bite ingredients. And then here's the fruit I need to wash. I've got a whole bag of grapes, and then I have some strawberries, and then 2 containers of blackberries. Again, I'll go through the entire process of exactly how I wash that and how I make everything. But first, I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees. The first thing I need to do is get this peach baked oatmeal in the oven. All right, let me first get my recipe out of here. I just bought this binder and I created some little recipe dividers, and I find this is a whole lot easier for me to keep track of my favorite recipes. I don't use my phone to look at the recipes, so I print everything out, and now I have a nice binder that will have everything divided by sections. So I do have this available on my Substack membership because I give out 5 free recipes every single month as well as weekly meal plans. So when you sign up, you get the printable labels here as well as all the recipes, meal plans, all that good stuff. So I've got the recipe here. Now I have to get out all the bowls and get everything started. Oh, let me also say I do have the recipes in the description, so make sure you guys check those out. So originally I was going to double the recipe for this baked oatmeal, but I have a lot of stuff already in the fridge. So I have stuff for sandwiches, like breakfast sandwiches that haven't been used up yet. I also made some lemon blueberry pancakes, and we still have a lot of those. So instead, I'm just going to make a single batch. So this is a pretty standard baked oatmeal recipe. You put all of the dry ingredients in one bowl, and then all the wet ingredients in another bowl, and then you combine them. If you've never made baked oatmeal before, it is super easy. Think of it as kind of like a cake consistency, but like it's oatmeal. So before you put it in the oven, it's going to be very liquidous, but the oats absorb all the liquid and turn it into that cake consistency. Let me also say, I do say this a lot, I'm using rolled oats or old-fashioned oats for these because the texture comes out better. If you have quick oats, if that's all you have, that's totally fine. But when you use quick oats, they tend to become a little bit mushier when they come out of the oven. So whatever you have is fine, but the quick oats are a little bit mushier. So we are officially a full month into summer break. Allison's last day of school was it was after Memorial Day, and she doesn't go back until September 8th. So we still have 2 more months to go. And that is actually very different for us because her school system usually starts mid-August. But this year they decided they're not going to start until after Labor Day. So it is a huge change. They have 3 months of summer break instead of 2.5. So our days usually consist of me waking up super early. I'm always up at 4:30 because I like to read my Bible, get a workout in, go out for a short walk, and then get some work done. Whereas Allison is a night owl, and she stays up till about 11, and then she wakes up at 10 o'clock every morning. So that gives me enough time to get my recording done, my work done. So she's currently sleeping right now, but she'll wake up at 10, we'll chill for a bit, and then she'll have lunch. And then usually it's about noon when we get our day started. And I know that sounds crazy, starting our day at noon, but that's just how it goes. I'm wearing gloves for this part because my eczema doesn't like it when my hands touch raw food. So here I am peeling the peaches, and then I'm going to, I don't know, either slice them up or I'll dice them into smaller pieces. So anyway, yeah, we start our day basically at noon, and sometimes it's just going out and running errands. I've been trying to get one of Allison's friends over at least once a week so that they can hang out, and so she's not lonely. She's an only child. So I'd like for her to socialize with somebody besides me. And I'm sure she would tell you that she agrees with that. But we also have Kings Island passes, and we try to go once a week. But last week when I checked the weather for this week, the highs were going to be in the 90s like every single day. And we are not water park people. So we would just be spending the day at the park. And I'm like, no, we're not going to be out there in 90-degree weather. That's just insane. So hopefully next week will be better. So yeah, as you can see, we are definitely pretty boring people. But I also like that because I get tired out easily. I've got ADHD and I get overstimulated when we do too much stuff. I think maybe I will dice these into smaller pieces. Sometimes I'll put some of the peaches on top. Sometimes I'll just leave it all inside the baked oatmeal. Just whatever my preference is at the time. And if you're making this at home too, you can use fresh peaches if they're in season, but also the canned peaches work just as well. So I'm just kind of cutting around the pit, which actually is going pretty well. This is how I cut my apples too. I just cut it into 4 pieces, make sure that I get as much as I can out of it. And yeah, there it is. Now we just pour everything in. And then you know what? I'll just pour the peaches in here. I was gonna, here, look, we'll just try this. Let me take a spatula and we'll mix this around. And then whatever other peaches I have left, we'll just place on top. But it looks like it won't really make a huge difference. So as you can see, this mixture is very liquidous, and it is supposed to look like that because, again, the oats will absorb the liquid and it'll turn it into the baked oatmeal. All right, so we've got this. We need to put this in the oven for about 35 minutes, and that's going to give us enough time to work on the other stuff. Okay, so this next part is what I do every single time I do a larger meal prep session. So the first thing I do is put all the oven stuff in the oven and let it bake. Like I said, it takes about 35 minutes to bake. So what are you going to do in the meantime? You're going to finish whatever things you need to do for your meal prep. So for me, right now, that means I'm going to put the fruit inside this bowl here. I'll show you in a second. And then after that, I will start on the energy bites. So I'm kind of working on a couple of things at once. So washing my fruit, here's how I do it. I've got a big bowl of water here. Now, I used to put vinegar in here as well to clean it, but I saw somebody use baking soda. So I'm going to do baking soda instead. I couldn't tell you the science behind it, honestly, but I'm going to see if all of the grapes will fit in here, and I'm sure they will. Let me kind of swish that around a little. So the grapes should be fine, but I may have to put the strawberries and blackberries in a second batch. Yeah, okay. So we're going to dunk these in, and we're going to let them soak for like 5 to 10 minutes. So while those are soaking, I can start on the energy bites. I just made these guys recently in another video. I'll link it down below. So I won't go into too much detail on these, but my base recipe is rolled oats, peanut butter, honey, chia seeds, and chocolate chips. And the cool thing about this recipe is that you can customize it to your liking. So if you prefer almond butter, you could use that instead. You can use a different type of chocolate chip. You could add like dried cranberries or raisins or something. So yeah, very easily customizable. But all you do is just put everything in a large bowl, you mix it together, and then you take a scoop, roll them into little balls, and then you just put them in a container. So yeah, I wake up pretty early in the mornings. Just so, I don't know, I've done it so often for so many years. It's just become a habit. I don't need to wake up at 4:30, but I do, because if I don't, it throws off my schedule and I feel weird for the rest of the day. But typically what will happen is I'll wake up at 4:30, read my Bible, drink my coffee, get a small workout in at 5:30, and then at 6 I'll eat breakfast, clean up the kitchen a bit, and then from 7 to 7:30 I go outside for just a short walk around the neighborhood, come back, shower, and then computer work. Now, my computer work is made a lot more bearable by the fact that I have a walking pad now. So I mean, I love exercising, I love walking, but I do still have to get work done. And sometimes I can't stand sitting at my computer for like an hour or two at a time. So for Christmas, I got me a standing desk and a walking pad. And so I'll spend, between 30 to 45 minutes at a time on that walking pad while I get work done. So it helps me get my steps in, burns off that energy, because it's hard to go out for long periods of time while Allison is sleeping. I don't want to leave her here by herself. But my computer work consists of like writing blog posts, editing videos, creating meal plans, and then creating products to sell on Etsy. So that's usually what I do in my mornings, is doing all of that computer work. And then when Allison gets up, I just spend the rest of the time doing whatever it is that I wasn't able to get done. Okay, so this is finished. Before I start rolling them up, let's get the fruit going again. So once the fruit has finished just soaking, I've got a colander inside my sink. So I will dump everything out into the colander, and then I'll just give it a really good rinse. The grapes take the longest, unfortunately, because I like to take them off the vine and put them in a container. But doing this ahead of time before we eat them, it helps us to actually eat all of them so they don't go bad. So I have a container here that has a paper towel on the bottom of it. I'm going to put all the grapes in here. The paper towel just keeps all the water off the grapes, and I feel like it makes it last longer. So do you want to see some real life right now? I'm doing this in the midst of all of this mess right here. Welcome to real life, everybody. Allison is not awake yet, so she hasn't finished emptying the dishwasher. I can't load the dishwasher until that is empty. I can't empty it until she wakes up and does it herself. So therefore, everything stays on the counter. So yes, I am cleaning or prepping all this fruit in the midst of all this, but who doesn't do that, right? I try my best to hide what I can, but you cannot escape real life. Although, speaking of real life, I have created a new routine for myself, and I'm actually pretty proud of it. And maybe it's sad to be proud of a cleaning routine because it means I didn't clean as much beforehand. But anyway, I have a new morning routine which consists of scrubbing out the sink here, and then wiping down all the kitchen counters, and then wiping down all of the bathroom counters, and then sweeping the kitchen. So I do all of that. And I try to race myself against the clock because I go out for a walk at 7. And so if it is 6:40, I'm like, okay, how quickly can I get my morning cleaning done before my walk? Because I know that after I do my walk, I have to get my computer work done. And then my cleaning just doesn't get done. So I know I have to do it before my walk. And before I started doing this, I know this is crazy, but honestly, I only swept the kitchen maybe once a week. And it was gross because, I cook every day. And so food gets all over the floor. But now I'm doing it every single morning, and the difference has been amazing. So yeah, there are 4 or 5 things that I do every morning. I scrub out the sink, wipe down the kitchen counters, wipe down the bathroom counters, and then I sweep. Okay, grapes are done. So we can put a lid on it and then set it aside for later. Okay, I went ahead and filled up the bowl again with water. Now we've got our strawberries and blackberries. So strawberries were on sale for, I think it was 99 cents at Meijer. And usually, Allison likes raspberries. That's like her new obsession. But raspberries were $3.59 for a little container, whereas blackberries were 2 for $1. So I'm hoping that Allison will like the blackberries. I know she'll eat the strawberries. Blackberries we'll have to see. So this is going to be soaking for a few minutes. Let's work on those energy bites now. All right, we have 16 minutes left on the baked oatmeal. We've got this. So like I said before, I've got a very specific order in how I do my meal prep, and that helps me to maximize my time. The 3 steps are baking, cooking, and chopping in that order. And the baking, obviously, is whatever goes in the oven. So, for example, this baked oatmeal, it goes in for 35 to 40 minutes. And so while that's baking, you can work in that time pocket to do the rest of your meal prep. So the cooking portion, that would be like if you were making pancakes or waffles, or like cooking up some sausage or something. The idea there is that when you're cooking those things, you can step away for like a minute or 2 at a time, because the pancakes and waffles need 1 to 2 minutes to cook. The sausage, like you would just have to come back and stir it every minute or so. But in those 1 to 2 minute time pockets, you could be like chopping up vegetables or chopping up your fruit or even washing your fruit. So those are the 3: baking, cooking, and chopping. So technically, I'm not doing any cooking. I guess this could be considered the cooking portion, but it's a little bit backwards because I'm washing the fruit. And so washing the fruit is almost like the cooking stage, because you can let it sit for 5 minutes and then you can use this time to make the energy bites. So I'll get done in basically an hour. Like it took me, possibly 5 to 10 minutes to get the baked oatmeal started, like putting all the ingredients together. But then 35 minutes in the oven, that gives me time to do these other 2 things. And that's how I get efficient in meal prep. And that's how you could get efficient with your meal prep. Just, take an hour on a Sunday afternoon, plan out 2 or 3 things that you want to do for your session, and then figure out like the best time to do it in. Okay, I've got all of my energy bites here. Put the lid on, set it aside. The strawberries and blackberries should also be done now. And here we go again. Going to dump out all of the fruit into the colander. Then we'll rinse it and then put them in their containers. So I've noticed, especially with strawberries, if I don't wash them right away, if I just kind of wash a couple as I go, they only last maybe 3 days in the fridge. But if I wash them like this, put them in here to dry, they last longer. I mean, I'm talking 5 to 7 days in the fridge. So these are looking really good. And then blackberries, we'll just set them in here as well. Now, if you find berries like this at a really good price, like these were 2 for $1, you can freeze them. You can flash freeze them by putting them on a baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper, laying them out flat, and then putting them in the freezer that way. And once they're completely frozen, you can put them in a gallon-sized freezer bag. And then you could use them in like your yogurt parfaits or smoothies or something. I do that sometimes, and it saves money and food waste. Oh, that is looking really good. So usually just take a knife and see if it comes out fairly clean. Sometimes it'll take about 40 minutes or so, but this looks pretty good. It's golden brown on top, as it should be. So I'm going to let it cool completely, and then I will cut it into 6 pieces, and then we will have it for breakfast. So that only took about an hour, and honestly, I'm so glad I did it. And thank you for indulging me by letting me record it, because otherwise it may not have all gotten done. But now I have breakfast for the week, I have snacks for the week, I have fruit to go with our snacks and lunches, so I am pretty happy. I have all the recipes that I made linked in the description, so make sure you guys check those out. And if you like these meal prep sessions, let me know, because I probably need more accountability by making more things. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later. Are you looking for easy dinners to feed your busy family? Click the link in the description to grab a free recipe book with 10 simple and delicious dinners that my family loves. Download it now and tell me what you think.